Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're going into game number 3 now between PRETS and OWKINGS. The stage is set. The story is unfolding brilliantly here. Two very back and forth games. I'm really, honestly not sure what's going to happen on the last map.
It's going to come down to Twitty versus Freed. And the winner shall be victorious and push their team into the round of 8. No, it's actually been, the last game specifically, Dorado, really came down to those two. I feel like they've really been trying to carry their teams as well as they can.
Yeah.
And obviously good coordination is important. It's going to be the support ultimates almost always that determine the winners of these fights. But of course, if you can get those multi-kills, definitely helps out. But we will be going to Kings Row, as he stated, for game number 3. It is actually just another hybrid map similar to Numbani, where you try to capture point A, then get that payload started. And so far, both teams have shown some aptitude at offense and defense, so I think we were kind of lucky here to get this really evenly matched round of 16. As sometimes in the round of 16, you kind of get the walkover matches. Like,
sure,
I'm imagining Reunited versus some poor team in EU who just signed up for fun, just absolutely having a terrible time. Series is over in 10 minutes, but we're happy to bring you some really close games so far here with PRETS and OWKINGS. Both teams really trying to just break into that consistent top 8. Some of them, you know, they do reach the top 8 from time to time, but they really want to be in that top contention. There's only 8 teams from Europe that will be playing in the playoffs, so you know, both of these teams really just trying to get as many points, or of course the automatic berth if they can make it all the way through the bracket.
The stakes couldn't be higher here. One of these teams is going to need to move on and collect as many points as they can to make it into those top teams that advance into the playoffs. And the other, of course, is going to go home a little bit empty-handed in comparison. They're not going to be liking that very much as well. But at the same time, what a great series we've had. Don't forget as well, this isn't a walkover match, and if you fancy maybe not being a part of those and really taking one of these teams to full hilt as well, you can do so. It is an open tournament for a reason. You can sign up for next week's qualifier and potentially be in with a chance for us casting your game at this point in the round of 16.
That's true. I mean, one more team is going to be gone out of this, right? So you may not have to face Reunited or Creation or, you know, whoever happens to get through. So that is actually going to be your last chance next week as well to try and participate in this $300,000 tournament. So definitely, if you're not already playing, try to find some friends and see at least how far you can get in these single elim brackets. But
we'll join in.
I'm not going to join in.
We'll go to round of 64, crash out, and then come onto the caster desk. It'll be fine.
Okay, that'll be fine then. So Kings Row, no, dude, I'm going to go all the way. I'm going to be in NA next weekend, by the way. I'm not going to be here next week.
Oh, we'll just be casting your NA games as you storm to victory.
So go ahead and hit me up on Twitter, ask Joshy, see if we can put together a squad for the NA bracket, which we will be bringing you later today. Don't forget, this is just the EU round of 16. We're going to go into the round of 8 soon and also jump over to North America a little bit later in the broadcast. So we've got a total of at least 6 matches for you guys tonight. This is just the first of many. So OWKINGS versus PRETS has been a great one so far. Doors are open now. The defense for OWKINGS looking pretty standard again. All the same supports and DPS that you expect to see. And the tank combo is going to be Reinhardt Zarya. Reinhardt totally makes sense for this point A. May end up seeing a switch from Zarya at some point during the payload phase, but really they're going to provide the most barriers. They're going to provide the most HP for their team essentially on point A.
Tweedy actually getting pushed back right now. Most of PRETS on the point. Boo are coming in very, very early on Winston as well. Often indicative of teams that really want to be very aggressive here, so we'll see how that goes. Freed gets absolutely taken off of his head, unfortunately, at the start of that by Olba, but he gets taken out in turn by Nalar, so that means only one team has him reactive on the point. And right now, 3 kills in a row going the way of PRETS means that OWKINGS are going to have to fall back to the other point. A very quick initial take there from PRETS. Very aggressive start on Kings Row to start off this absolutely crunch best of 3.
I had no idea Freed was above him. He just dropped down and immediately gets picked off. That's kind of a bad feeling for a Genji when you're trying to get the element of surprise. And McCree just says, oh, there you are, pop. An easy kill there for Olba, but the defense does eventually fall. It's going to be the offense rolling through. Nalar, of course, a big part of that. Freed playing at the Genji is going to be, of course, a driving factor. Even though he did die there, he's starting to work up toward that ultimate, and Genji really shines on this payload phase. He can get around the back and not have to worry about attacking a single space. He can really pick his targets a lot easier in this instance. Nalar has Deadeye available for whenever they need it. He's going to pop it actually very soon here. Reinhardt's shield gets dropped, but the Deadeye actually only finds Olba? That was very interesting.
He rushed forward beyond the Reinhardt shield, and unfortunately, Additonian coming in for pickup behind OWKINGS there. They're going to be able, well, keep calm and reap on exactly. Need to pick a very important place to make sure that that poster is adjusted exactly
well,
correct.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be sloppy with it.
Yeah, don't want to OCD at a slight
you have
angle.
to keep calm, reap on.
Reaper's gonna reap.
Yeah, Reaper's gonna reap. So we've got Sound Barrier available for the offense. This is certainly gonna help out as the defense is still a bit away. Adatonian does have very close to a Death Blossom prepared for the defense, so I'm gonna be anxious to see what he can do. There's a Graviton Surge out right now, catching basically everybody, triggering the Transcendence. Charge in from the defensive Reinhardt, but he's in over his head, catches that Discord Orb, and Freed just follows up easily. Losing that front line is gonna be pretty painful here for the defense. Freed jumping in, gets very low on health though. Should have maybe dashed back out rather than further in, but Rib goes down. Freed also dead there. Tonic did actually not trigger his Sound Barrier. That may have been the opportunity they were looking for, getting such a quick kill on the enemy Reinhardt, but didn't work out. We got Sound Barrier for the defense. Adatonian, Death Blossom just cleaning house, getting it 3 kills there. Defense has to be happy about that. OWKINGS stalling them in the Streets phase now.
PRETS has been a little bit unsuccessful with Freed going into the back lines, I feel, and every time Freed rejoins the main fight, Adatonian has been able to sneak round back. The danger for Reaper, of course, is before you get to that Death Blossom point, you get found out by a Genji. And each time Freed has gone back into the main fight, Adatonian has snuck round back, and both times now, he's managed to get a triple kill.
Yep, that's what Reaper does best. Just sneaky, sneaky Death Blossoms. But here we go. Sound Barrier coming out from the side of the attackers. PRETS getting everyone back up to full health. They do find a couple of kills, but Twitty gets the kill on Claws. They have lost their Lucio and their Genji now, so kills going both ways. Favoring the offense slightly. You can see 3 of them still on the payload. D.Va's going to get a fresh suit. Zen gets cornered there and taken out with the Flash and Fan. Actually, Flash and Zen combo there. Nalar slowly healing back up from that payload, and they should be able to secure this checkpoint. It could be Twitty charging in here to try and stop them at the checkpoint. It looks like they are going to just hang back. 5 minutes, 15 seconds is a lot of time here for PRETS to try and do this last dog leg and straight away.
A hold would be great for OWKINGS here, but I think realistically they're looking to stall out as long as possible. Of course, they'll take the hold if offered to them. We'll wait and see. Deadeye just looking for potential easy targets, only spotting 1 skull at most throughout that duration there, so Nalar going to be saving some of that and just patiently hanging back. What is OWKINGS going to be doing? Note Adatonian once again with Death Blossom available, and there is the potential for that verticality here to play a part. Here comes Transcendence on the part of PRETS. The engagement is starting, and 3 kills starting things off. Claws getting Tweedy actually in the Reinhardt battle is going to be incredibly important. Adatonian gets his head knocked right off there by Nalar, who's just providing fantastic damage from the back end, and that is basically a team wipe. Olba still alive, but he's alive, switching to Tracer in the back now. They are in full hold mode.
Right, this is their last opportunity to do so. Definitely don't want to trickle out, so they are going to wait behind this Reinhardt shield. Zenyatta Transcendence comes out just to get everyone to the payload. They did not find a kill very quickly. Nalar does ultimately go down, but they've lost Adatonian and Olba now. Defense falling apart slightly. Reinhardt goes down. Dragonblade out for Freed. Can he get the kill? Yes, likely is down. He's going to get pinned by Tweedy. Ooh. That was such a weird dash through and then immediate pin. Really good stuff for the defense, but offense still standing with 3 on the payload. They need to find Olba, only 100 HP. Now rewinding, regaining 90 of it, and still staying alive on that payload and contesting. Olba is kind of a superstar there for the defense. 10 health again. Sound Barrier comes out for the side of the offense. Nalar gets the kill on Olba. Finally, this could be finally their chance as D.Va comes in. That is going to stall for a little while longer. Winston's here with the Harmony Orb. You see Grape actually flying toward that Zenyatta. Picking him off is going to be great. All the orbs go away, and D.Va will fall. That is going to be a great time set. Not the best ever, but still, 3.5 minutes left on the run is a really good time here for PRETS.
And it would have been 4 minutes left if it wasn't for Olba at the end there. Can we just call out Olba? What a fantastic way to come in and basically stop that. Yeah, that was painful, man. Nothing to say there. Poor Freed.
Oh, and look at this. I actually didn't notice this before. Tweedy going off on the defense earlier there. Another death.
That was number 1.
Yeah.
And Adatonian, as soon as Freed, every time Freed came back into the main team fight, Adatonian waltzed on back.
Didn't notice Adatonian getting launched off either. Wow, that's pretty brutal, losing the defensive Reaper like that.
He's been fantastic all game long, it has to be said, and a little bit unfortunate for him to have that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is your target. Basically, we are completing the map. We're going to a stopwatch here on Kings Row. It is 1-1 between Overwatch Kings and PRETS. Everything on the line here. The winning team will be able to advance to the quarterfinals, and the time to beat is a very respectable 5:26.
Yeah, 5:26. The Streets phase really could have gone a lot better for the OWKINGS defense. Things kind of just fell apart, and they were able to to get such a huge stretch there at the end as the deaths were staggered. They lost their Zenyatta last and just could not get everyone together to form a nice front line and try and contest longer. That's usually where you'll see teams charge in and just try to do what they can. Like we saw the Winston leap in on Numbani at the last second to try and block that checkpoint. Something you very often see here on Kings Row. We just did not see it this time around. So PRETS definitely thankful for that, as it carved a lot of time for that run back off of the spawn points.
And let's not take anything away from Adatonian as well, because a little bit unfortunate on the last fight where he did actually fall into the void, but those 2 triple kills on the streets phase and generally reaping quite well, I have to say. He's going to be a key player for Overwatch Kings, who are, of course, now on the offense. And on the defense, we have Nalar on McCree. Tonic is going to be playing Lucio. Buhor or Grape will be on Zarya. Mistakes on Zenyatta. Claws on Reinhardt, and Freed will be reaping as well.
I gotta say the standout moment on that attack was when Genji dashed through the Reinhardt and then Reinhardt pinned him immediately. You don't see that every day. It was pretty amusing. But here we go. Now that the doors are open, they're gonna rush right through the library. Adatonian getting found very quickly by Nalar with the flash and headshot. Falling down to 11 health, but managing to stay alive. Definitely good survival instincts there from Nalar. Usually McCree will just run in guns blazing, and Nalar is the exception to that rule. Of course, still getting a few shots there as the offense kind of peters out. They are gonna need to regroup. So already a better defense for PRETS than we saw out of OWKINGS for point A.
So what happened at that last point, by the way, is that Reinhardt had already started charging. And then Genji, because of the dash, just unfortunate. It's like the world's worst place to basically pop in after a dash. We now have another collapse. Notice coming in from both sides. Adatonian from the back. He moved through the hotel, but is going to have to Wraith Walk back out. It looks like the defense were actually expecting him. That is a huge Graviton surge. More or less everyone in there. Freed and Nalar both going down, but basically the DPS from the McCree there, we didn't actually have a big bomb or anything that actually killed off 3 or 4 people. That was the intention of the Graviton surge, and now Claws coming in to clean up as well. 4 plays 4 at the moment. Still very scrappy fight on the point, and Cloud trying to hold on. He will be taken out by Reinhardt, or will he? No.
The sound barrier gets forced out, though. That's at least a nice pickup for the defense. The fact that Claus is all on his lonesome and still actually managed to get that sound barrier out is great for them. Although time, of course, is working against OWKINGS. They're going to have to use everything they can. They finally do secure that point. And the Graviton Surge specifically, as you mentioned, there was no follow-up ult really killing everybody, but Mistakes popping that Transcendence actually managed to keep everyone alive. So big props to him just for keeping a lot more time on the clock here for PRETS defense. Now only 3 minutes and 40 seconds to try and push the entire rest of the way. That's how much time PRETS had just on the last point. They had 5.5 minutes just on the last point.
That's true, actually. They need to be able to get that down very, very quickly indeed. And Rib was so unbelievably deep on Winston there. He was basically at the final point already, and he is going to get taken out. Of course, with the cart going around this dog leg, it will give Rib enough time to rejoin the team now. Just over 3 minutes remaining, and if the payload does get a big push right onto the final point straight away, this is still possible to complete.
Yeah, totally. And actually, that's off to a great start. Claus getting taken out. Adatonian with the drop-down Death Blossom sinks a lot of that damage into both the tanks, and now actually Freed on the other side doing the same exact thing. Death Blossom to basically break up that offense, and now the entire offense is down. PRETS looking very impressive here, following up on that Death Blossom. Tonic actually gets a couple of killing blows himself on Lucio, so everything going well for PRETS. Full reset. Payload barely moved. Still have a couple of ults available. Actually, just the one there for Nalar, but still the ult advantage on the side of the defense.
PRETS needs to keep their composure here. They need to keep defending. As it currently stands, they are looking at a berth in the quarterfinals, but it's still 2.5 minutes left to go. OWKINGS can go in front here if they're not careful. Claw's going to be starting off with a charge. He basically gets mutual headache with another Reinhardt. Mistakes now popping the Transcendence on the part of PRETS, but 2 people already down. Is this going to be able to come out in the attacker's favor? I'm not sure. Buhor going out. That is going to be a big pick off there. A lot of shield basically gone for the team. We have sound barrier now for PRETS as well. 5 plays 6, and Transcendence now coming out from Overwatch Kings.
Yeah, the attacking Transcendence is definitely going to help them here in conjunction with the Winston ult. Forcing that Lucio back is going to give the payload a lot of room. Earthshatter comes out from the side of the defense, but again, Claus is kind of on his own. Really not a lot he can do by himself, as the rest of his team is kind of huddled back behind his shield. As he falls, so will they. I don't think, yeah, Freed is not going to last long. Even though he has Death Blossom, he definitely should not use it here. Should wait for that drop down in the future. But they're going to reach that checkpoint. Keep in mind, overtime is not going to matter at all. They really only have 92 seconds to make it the entire rest of the way.
I mean, again, it's possible, but PRETS just need to stay calm. If they're able to stall it for long enough, like you say, Joshy, overtime does not matter here. They just need to be very collected. They need to make sure they don't get taken out by any flanks. Overwatch Kings are going to be looking to Adatonian to basically pull a little bit of magic. Tweedy getting caught completely offside. He gets taken out very early on. This is not a good start to the engagement for Overwatch Kings.
Watch this. The Sound Barrier actually keeps the Reaper alive. Freed gets out with only 5 HP, but he catches the Harmony Orb very quickly, manages to stay alive. 1 HP for a second there, but does go down. Offense pushing very strong here into the point. I think they could beat the time.
PRETS.
55 seconds, no defense in sight. Oh my goodness,
PRETS.
What a ball drop. That went from 92 seconds to 50 seconds in just a short time.
We have a minute and a half. We'll do it in 40. Don't even worry about it.
OWKINGS, no sweat there. Freed. That Reaper versus Reaper engagement was very terrifying there for Freed. Unfortunate for him, but Adatonian, again, just pulling a lot of weight here as Reaper and PRETS will be falling. They're not going to play any more games today while OWKINGS move on into the round of 8, securing themselves at least more points.
And that was 3 games in a row, I think we can safely say, where at various points we've gone, one team is about to get this in the bag, and hang on a second, what came out from nowhere? Some incredible clutch individual performances there, and one man that was kept guessing the entire way through, no doubt, is going to be Alex McSheen Richardson, who joins us back on the desk. Hello.
Hello. I have to say straight away, this isn't the first time I sat back in this chair. I came back in the second map. I was convinced that we were going to be seeing a 2-0, but PRETS did bite back. And gentlemen, I mean, okay, so we have to start with that ending map. That's where I want to start this discussion, because that was a fast Kings Row time from PRETS. Like, I mean, just sub 6 minutes or just over 6 minutes.
5.5 minutes.
Yeah, 5:26.
Very impressive.
Yep.
Now that's fast. That is super fast. And then I mean, I kind of channeled my back in. I like kind of look up from my phone. I'm like, okay, where are we at now? Hang on. Wait, what? Excuse me? Like they hadn't made the final point, and they had about a minute and a half left. And Overwatch Kings managed to overcome. Like, this is not something you see every day. It's just the viewers need to like understand just how quick that was from Overwatch Kings. It basically came down to one fight, and they won it.
Adatonian there, I thought, especially when he sort of moved up with Reaper onto the ledge and he didn't get killed off because of the sound barrier. That felt like the start of the end almost, because he did eventually manage to take position. And we were talking about if PRETS were able to keep their composure and prevent the flank from happening, they would be able to hold the map. That's exactly what they didn't do. 3 more kills from the flank in that final fight.
Yeah, that sound barrier really was the key to the entire thing. We saw Freed had Death Blossom available. He was ready to drop down, kill the supports at least. He saw the Reaper teleport up, and normally as a Reaper player, I play him quite a lot in ranked, you see the guy teleporting up, you're like, all right, easy headshot, I'm ready. any moment now, but he had 500 more HP than he was expecting, could not use the Death Blossom, got out of there with only like 10 health, had to Wraith Walk away, so completely flipped the script. Everything went OWKING's way, and we didn't really get a great visual of what was happening elsewhere on the map, but of course, they pushed right through in a single solitary punch, and that does not happen that often.
They just walked through it. There was a couple of shortcomings I was going to talk about. I'm not sure. I don't think we have the availability, but I did have a replay I wanted to show of a very bad Graviton surge in our first map. In the
I do remember. The triple kill. Olba's just like, I'll just hang out here and just shoot away.
Like, basically, they have to, like, you have a Graviton and they had a Death Blossom, and I was like, if you use these correctly, it's going to be awesome. And it just, I think we have it. Oh, perfect. So this is it. He just gets a little too keen. It's great. And look at this. Olba's just like, yep, no problem. Look at that kill feed. Just murders them.
It looks like he already had Deadeye going, so the Graviton surge pulled him a little bit, but aim doesn't matter. He's not like he shook him off as Deadeye.
It looked like he was moonwalking for the entirety of his duration, and he was like, I'm just going to go ahead and kill people left, right, and center.
But this is what determines the good from the great, right? Is you have one opportunity. I'm going to try not to do Eminem lyrics here.
Don't.
To seize everything. So basically, you have one opportunity to use that ultimate correctly. You've got 30 seconds left on the clock. Had he used that Graviton and pulled in the Reinhardt, pulled in 4, all of a sudden that's a winnable team fight. You've won Numbani.
Yes.
He didn't do it. Pulls in a McCree. McCree just poops all over him, and that's the end of that. Probably a bad description to use, but it's done. What has been said, and that is the game. Overwatch Kings do pick up the win. And actually, we have another thing to show you. This has been the, let me get this name right, the incredible play of the game, and it's, of course, brought to you by the Republic of Gamers. So let's have a quick look at what that was for this first game. That makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, that was absolutely insane. Those kills, I'm not going to lie, I didn't know where they were coming from. I just kept seeing names popping up. I was like, who is he just indiscriminately swinging through with Reinhardt?
That's the best part. As Reinhardt, you don't have to know what you're swinging at. You just go crazy, and that sweeping arc does 75 damage across the board. Actually, some Reinhardt players will actually increase their sensitivity just for Reinhardt so that they can swing in wider arcs.
Wow.
And it's just a little bit of tech for you Reinhardt players. You can change that horizontal sensitivity specifically to take wider swings, and that is something some pro players do. But yeah, you don't have to see the targets; they just have to be in front of you. And you actually get an achievement for that. If you get 3 kills off of Earth Shatter, Fire Strike, and Charge, you get an achievement.
I mean, he used his whole kit for that, right, John? He just implemented everything available to him.
So the great thing about that almost to play the match is simply that I think the hammer swing only actually killed 1 person.
Yeah.
They were lining up. He was in a bowling alley. He was getting ready. He was on his tiptoes, Fred Flintstone style. You could see him gearing up for it. Amazing Fire Strike Charge. It completely wiped the team. It was fantastic stuff we saw.
And they didn't even win that game, but they won the series. So
they didn't even win that team fight, let alone the game, right?
Well, they did win the team fight. It was Reinhardt versus
but they respawned. They weren't able. Yeah.
Which you guys couldn't kind of figure out. It's like, hang on, he just got 5 down, and yet they still can't make that. What was it, like 3-4 meters?
Exactly. It was so
close. He killed the whole team just a little early. That's the one critique.
Can you not kill them slightly closer?
Right.
Yeah. That's such an awful thing to say. Like, yeah, okay, so you just made the most amazing. In fact, the actual words are incredible play of the game. It was awesome, but you still could have done it a little later. Yeah, nice. Either way, guys, we do have another game to look forward to. This was just our first. That was the round of 16. Of course, here for the Overwatch Open. But coming now is the quarterfinals. This is for Europe. We have North America to look forward to as well. We get NIP versus We United. And of course, you may be unfamiliar with the NIP name that just recently picked up SG1, a team you'll have recognized if you did tune in to weeks 1 and 2. We'll take a break, and when we do come back, we'll take our second European Overwatch game and see how that one does play out. So do stay tuned.